Yeah, you're that really smart psychic. You're that really, really smart psychic. You're always good at figuring things out. Yeah. So we live like real gods at these houses, and then we live like crap for show. And the gods do it on purpose, like choreographing or creating a whole like plan of how we're all gonna be for the ultimate like ending. So me living like crap is supposed to be weeding out what all of humanity deserves once and for all too. Plus the fight with countries. Then you live like an actual real amazing God somewhere else. So that like and this is the weird thing. The gods organize it. So like when I'm living like an actual real God somewhere, you gravitate towards the me that's a real God somewhere when you deserve those things. So see, this would be really obvious at that Frank Sinatra housing community area. Because when they're not worthy and when gods don't like them, they don't gravitate towards my house, and they don't go to my house, and they don't go near me, even if they wanted to more than anything. Unless they're worthy in a bad way. And then the bad ones can gravitate, but they just get punishments so badly, so fast. For being stupid enough to think God's an idiot and they can walk up to the house of God when they know they're the worst ones. So they're like in a bad destiny appointment with a real God house reality. The other ones are like the good and worthy get to go to the house while I'm just being a real God over at that housing community. It's weird the way gods organize all this stuff. So everyone who comes around me over here gets the biggest, best rewards or the biggest punishments. Everybody who gravitates towards the house where I'm just being an obvious God and power and luxury and stuff is a good or bad divine appointment, but not as massive as over here. And it's weeding out and weeding out and weeding out who deserves what and putting them all into like their own categories and sections once and for all. And dealing with everything once and for all. It's weird the way God's organized things, so smart, but they do. As a mother and creator, I do it all differently. But as a psychic, you're picking up on how most gods do things. And yeah, that's how most gods handle these kind of things. So then, see, you got to keep the acting going, because if you don't, it's not believable. It won't work. So I'll have to sit here and live like crap and watch my own self in my own omnipresence down Frank Sinatra live like a giant and a god all happy. And it's like, oh, this sucks. But it makes you wonder. I wonder if anybody, like, I think I'm going to spend some time with the husbands and see if husbands can live like shit on street one and live like the husband of the biggest giant god on street 2, and maybe act like a little bit of this or that on street 3, and see if they can help these gods weed it out once and for all, or deal with everything once for all too. If we're all just here to act and act until we get out of here, should probably help perfect all this stuff. The way I do it is I use like psychology. I use my powers. So I turn my powers into like a weird house of mirrors. And every time you're led to the mirror that you deserve the most. By the end of this, the mirror that you always deserve the most sucks you in. So that's how I, as the mother creator, that's how I design the end of the world. It's like you keep traveling in this house of mirrors to find the ultimate mirror that you end up walking through, and that's the ending that you chose. And I thought it was pretty fun and pretty cool, like, because I even do that for my babies, the gods. They sit and look at these magical mirrors. So through the whole end of the world, they're just analyzing magic mirrors. and making choices about which mirror. And they fight and fight and fight in their choices to get to these ultimate mirrors that they want. They walk into the ultimate mirror that they wanted, and they find out their whole life built by God as like a magical dream world they got to walk into. Of course, there's bad mirrors, but like I'm just going to talk about the good mirrors.